listen.
Yeah, you know it's time for revolution. I give you proper execution. Cause you're a broken institution. And I'm a natural evolution. Only what's needed. Too many words, running and bleeding. Out of control, lack of a soul. Attacking the whole, the devil's convening. Conveying the darkness, sparking Marcus territory. Like the wolfman coming, people cup running over. Can't stop the nova, it's getting too bright. So run to the light, yeah.
At this time, everyone here on TEAMHEEL wants to give our thoughts and prayers to the family of William Moody in the world of wrestling known as Paul Bearer. He passed away Tuesday evening at 9 p.m. at age 58. And at this time, we want to give our moment of silence. And welcome to the TEAMHEEL GutCheck podcast on YouTube.com. As always, I'm Heel Steven.
I'm Knowledge at Wrestling.
I'm Gavin Oates.
I'm Heel Cat.
This is kind of a, how can I put this, an uncomfortable moment, you know what I mean? For those of you who know what happened the last 2 days, with Paul Bearer passing away, and it really, it shook everyone, wrestling world, and fans all around the world, Would you all agree with that?
Yeah, definitely did.
100%.
Yeah, it really did. It felt like something just dropped inside of you, when I heard the news, what happened. Well, to me, that is. I felt like something just dropped, you know what I mean? It's like when you go on the roller coaster ride and you're about to reach the top of the ride, you're about to fall down. You know what I mean? The moment you're going down, that's what it felt like, You all agree with that?
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to know, where were you guys? Where were you guys when you heard the news on what happened?
Well, I was.
I'll start with you.
Yeah, I was at home, just searching around on YouTube, and I see someone upload a video saying "Rest in peace, Paul Bearer." I'm like, what? And then I go on the wrestling news site, and I see breaking news: Paul Bearer has passed away at age, what was it, 58? I believe.
Yeah, 58. He was supposed to be 59 next month.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, I can't believe it's true. And then I went on Yahoo.com and it was the #1 trend for like a day, I think. So yeah, it was shocking to me a little. And then they showed like recent pictures of him, and he didn't look sick at all. Like he looked a little bit old, but it didn't look like he was about to die or anything.
Yeah, Vinance?
Well, I was on Facebook and I was talking to Dean Mitchell, as you full well know from British Wrestling Radio.
Yes.
He says basically, click this link, we've heard speculation. We had a phone call in on a separate radio station that he listens to in America every Tuesday. I forget the name of it, but I was like, I don't want to tune in because it's like probably gossip, probably a hoax. You know how they are speculating with wrestlers and so on passed away. So I went, oh, sorry, I'll go in. But they didn't find out, so I thought, I'll go to bed. 15 minutes after me falling asleep, I had a text, it's true. I just burst out into tears, no matter what.
Yeah. I can feel your pain. I can imagine. Kill Cat?
I was on Facebook talking to friends, and then I saw a post that said R.I.P. Paul Bearer, and I'm like, wow. And I was just like, my heart just sunk, and wow, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, me, I was talking with Knowledge Wrestling on Skype, and I finished talking with him, and I'm about to go to sleep, and I go on Facebook, and the 420 Goonie, you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber here, and I have him as a friend on Facebook, and he posted this post. I can't believe it. SMH, rest in peace, Paul Bear. Now, at first, I thought it was a joke. So then I go on WrestleZone.com, and they didn't post anything yet. So then after that, I go on ProWrestling.com, and it said, breaking news: Paul Bear passed away at age 58. And just like you, Gavin, I kind of, I burst into tears, because it felt, because Paul Bear, he was part of our childhood, part of our childhood. And it's like each day, like every part of our childhood is like going away,
That's how life is.
Yeah, indeed. It's crazy because, like, I remember when I was a child, when I was a child growing up, I was like I was watching wrestling since I was 1 year old, and my brother used to collect magazines, like WWF back in the day, and I used to like scroll through the pages, And I remember I was age either 4 or 5, right, and I was scrolling through one of the pages, and I see Paul Bear, with his famous, stare with the urn, and I used to be scared, the pale body, the pale look, and the stare that he would make with the urn, and I used to be afraid. I used to like run to my mom and cry, That was part of life. That was part of my childhood, if you will. And when I heard, they passed away, and I saw all the videos that were made on YouTube, moments after, and it reminded me of that moment, But one thing that got me upset, though, there's some people on YouTube making these videos, but they put their videos in monetization. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They do it for views, basically, and the money.
Yeah, I understand, but the profit of someone's death.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Should never do that. That should never be done. Especially like someone like Paul Bear, arguably one of the greatest managers that have ever been part of the business. When you think of your top 5 best managers, you have to put Paul Bear in that top 5 list.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Vince McMahon said he was the most unique manager.
Was.
Yeah.
The way his gimmick was, and how he would carry the urn, and you know what I'm saying. It is kind of to me. It felt weird to me. Like Monday was old school Raw. Okay, old school Raw, and the start of the show was Undertaker coming out, right?
Yeah.
And you see the Undertaker, he does his, he comes out to the stage, whatever. He puts his hands up in the air, and you see the famous WrestleMania logo. And when you think of WrestleMania, especially nowadays, you think of Undertaker and the 20-0 streak. And when you think of the Undertaker, you always think of Paul Bear. Yeah. Do you agree with what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, what's your thoughts on this, Gavin? Nuts?
It's just how you feel at the moment. You look back in, like, as you were saying, of like history of wrestling fans. We've lived it through our childhood. It's like TV programs. You clone to like characters, if you know what I mean. Ones always you remember from like soap operas, films, everything, with like catchphrases like the "oh yes" that Paul Bearer gave off, the way he did it. I'm not going to try and imitate his voice; it will just upset me even more. But with that said, he's one of those comic book sort of characters that was everlasting in WWE or whatever company that he worked for. It was, you could feel the passion behind his character. He made so much of an effort. It was a magical moment to witness everything that he did growing up, watching him on TV, because I've watched him since his debut, everything.
To me, it's like, that is, The Undertaker, this gimmick would have not been successful without Paul Bearer to me. Do you agree with that in a way?
Yeah, Paul Bearer basically he was a major factor towards that Undertaker gimmick, and he also brought up Kane.
Anyone that he managed, whether it be from Undertaker, Mankind, Vader, Kane, he always brought the best out of all of them. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, he will truly be missed, and especially, it felt weird because, he's think of old school Raw. You would assume that Paul Bearer would have been there as well with the Undertaker. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a feeling it was like when I was actually tweeting him like 2 weeks ago, and he messaged me back on private message for 2 hours, and I was never know because how this story is progressing. We've only just seen it materialize this week. They've got, I think it's 5 weeks now till Mania to build it up. And what a way to build it up to involve Paul Bearer in sort of the storyline. Because you know what CM Punk is, it will sponge off the moment to deliver heat and so on. But if Paul Bearer's there on his side, it will give another meaning to probably like CM Punk probably spook him or something. You know how he's good at selling.
Yeah.
But now we would never see that moment.
Yeah. I can just imagine right now how Undertaker and Kane feel right now when they heard the news. I can just imagine.
Yeah. Saying that, what about the other guys that he's managed, like Steve Austin, Mick Foley? It's going to be weird though that Mick Foley's going in the Hall of Fame before him now.
Yeah, it really does. Even before he was alive, that was kind of weird,
Yeah.
There's definitely Paul Bearer's definitely Hall of Fame inducted no matter what. It's just a shame that we never got to see it happen on TV or live,
Yeah.
It's a shame.
He might get inducted
It's like
next year.
I've not seen like anything blow up like this in a long while. I think the last time I've probably seen something blow up on the internet was Eddie Guerrero passing away.
Like I said before, this definitely affected everybody here in the IWC, YWC, whether you're a new fan coming up or an old fan, Even to the new fans, that just tuned in to watch professional wrestling with the WWE or TNA or even ROH. You have to know who Paul Bearer was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I want to ask you a question. Sorry, Kevin, what were you going to say, Kevin?
No, I was just going to say he's one of those guys when they say action speaks louder than words. It goes back on that controversial catchphrase. He did it both. Without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, to me, the most memorable moment of Paul Bearer to me will always be, him with the urn, And every time, every match that Undertaker was in, the way he would lift up the urn and Undertaker would just rise up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, to me, the most memorable moment was when this whole storyline with Kane started, when Paul Bearer would say, "Oh, Kane is alive, and then it led up to Kane's debuting at Bad of Blood '97, when he came out and you saw Kane. You remember Kane walking out with Paul Bearer,
Yeah.
And you see Kane breaking the cell door and tombstoning Undertaker. That storyline by itself, without Paul Bearer, I don't think the storyline itself would have sold. You know what I mean? To me, that is.
Yeah, it's like with Paul Bearer, he had them sort of comic book moments, if you know what I mean. As I say, comic timing. With him, it was wrestling timing.
Yeah.
When he used to sell everything. To be personally, I think his promos were ad-libbed by himself. That's how much you could feel his passion.
Yeah. Knowledge of wrestling, what was your memorable moment of Paul Bearer?
I like the promo where he came back. I think well he had blonde hair. He's just talking about how basically Kane is coming and stuff. Hyping up for Kane to come. I think, and then because he was talking about the house that got burnt down on fire, and I think it killed his mother, right? I mean, his Undertaker's mom.
The storyline.
Yeah, the
Oh, the
storyline.
storyline.
Yeah, I know storyline wise, and kept on blaming it on Taker, I think, and so yeah, I don't know. I just liked. That was like a good promo to me, and then Taker just came out, started getting mad and stuff. Well, also recently his recent things with Kane and Taker, that was I kind of liked it too, when they had that storyline in 2010. Of Taker and Kane facing each other. It was cool to see Paul Bearer back. You wouldn't really expect him to come back after '04, after his return in '04. So it was cool to see him back in some way. And then he was like on and off after that.
Kavanagh's?
I think the only reason that he came back is basically to pay for his heart operation or gastric bypass or that band that he had in his stomach to make him lose weight or something.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the only reason why he came back. But the problem is, we all know probably now that he died of a blood clot. That's what people are speculating is probably all over the gossip sites now.
Yeah.
So
what was your memorable moment of Paul Bear? Like, your most memorable moment you can remember, as a child, till now, that you'll never forget, if you will?
memorable moment, that's going to be hard because every time when I've seen him on the screen, it was magical when he hit the screen no matter what. I can't sum one moment.
I understand. Kill Cat?
Well, I didn't start watching this until I was 12, so. But my most memorable Paul Bearer moment is when he came back in '04 during the Kane Undertaker storyline.
WrestleMania 20? Yeah.
Yeah, that one too was also good.
Yeah, indeed it was. It was good. It was awesome. Yeah, I mean, it just feels weird though, that you wouldn't expect it,
Yeah, it was like
it's like
out of nowhere.
unexpected, like out of the blue.
Yeah.
It's like someone pulled the rug away from you. That's what this felt like to me. And to me, like I said before, he has to go into the Hall of Fame. If not this year, next year. And have Undertaker and Kane induct him, and Mick Foley.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely go in next year. He'll definitely get in next year.
Yeah, to me, it's like also like, since I've been a fan of wrestling since I was 1 year old, and it felt like a family member of mine died. That's what it felt like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you grew up watching them and you get attached to them.
Yeah. Yeah, at this time, I want to say, Paul Bear, thank you for the memories, everything that you have done. You guys want to add to it?
Other than what we arranged.
Sorry?
I was just saying, thank you for a few people.
Knowledge of Wrestling, Kill Cat.
Yeah. Thanks, Paul Bearer, for having more, getting wrestlers that he managed, getting into better storylines, helping them out. He was good for that.
It's good as well that Gavin and that British Wrestling Reddit, they did also a tribute, right?
Yeah.
I heard about that. They did one the day, was it the day after, right? His death?
It was basically, we was in like the chat room and so on. That broke, and then Dean's like, we're going to do a tribute show. So I was like, okay, fair enough. I was helping like promote it. We had a packed chat room like nobody's business, sending their bits. They've actually had a person that used to work with Percy Pringle tune in, Paul Bearer or whatever you want to class him as. It was just an emotional 1 hour show. It's worth checking out. It's on YouTube.
Link to the radio show for British Wrestling Radio will be in the description box below. Go check it out. It's a pretty good tribute they did. British Wrestling Radio is on every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific U.S. Time, 11 o'clock p.m. UK time on www.bwrradio.com. But yeah, they did a very good tribute show. They did. Again, go check it out. You'll love it.
Plus as well, it's like heel cat, knowledge of wrestling, no legit wrestling. Sorry. Hill Stephen have actually tuned in. They've appreciated what Dino and Nixie, and obviously Daniel made a guest appearance after long-awaited absence. It just proves how much a death of someone of that caliber in the wrestling industry to bring Daniel back. It was really good to see him from us on Team Heel from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you ever so much for that show. Without a shadow of a doubt, I wouldn't have got through the night after evening, and without a shadow of a doubt, all from Team Heel, thank you.
I remember also like days, moments, hours that passed. I was watching other people's videos, and this YouTuber here, Monoxide, right? I'm sure you all know who he is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he told us a story, in this video about how last year's WrestleMania, he went to the fan access and he met Paul Bearer, who was there, and he made the line, and apparently when Paul Bearer was signing his autograph, he imitated Paul Bearer's voice, oh yes, and Paul Bearer gave him that, the stare, the famous Paul Bearer stare, and he told Monoxide, what are you smoking? And then Monoxide said, no, relax, I'm straight edge. And then they had a laugh, But, it shows, how much it has affected everyone, how the memory that they have, of someone that contributed so much to business.
Yeah, he was a very good guy. Like, no one had problems with him at all. I never heard someone bash Paul Bearer or, anything like that. He was overall a good person.
It's like every time when you say about one thing, it's like, even though people have their own different opinions on professional wrestling here on the IWC, YWC, Twitter, Facebook, tout, wherever you look, they had one thing in common: respect for him. No matter what. It's really good to see. Just think if everyone downloaded everyone's video, put it all together, I swear you would have had a 2-day tribute.
Indeed, especially this one right here. What happened, that Paul Bearer died, and he went in tears. Brother started crying because he got me into wrestling.
Yeah.
You can imagine, right? That you can. You know what I mean? You can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
It's an echo, apparently.
An echo.
It's weird.
Yeah, that's a good start.
Okay, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I feel like you're crying. I don't know why. I feel like you were about to cry.
No, I'm fine.
probably getting emotional with us sharing of our stories. It happens, don't worry.
You know, I remember, you know, when Eddie Guerrero died, I cried. You know, I'm gonna be honest about it.
I
When Eddie
cried
died,
that whole Raw for 2 hours straight. I cried.
Yeah, that was kind of
Eddie
sad
died.
too.
And I was watching that.
when Eddie
I
died,
felt like the
literally,
family never passed away.
I was in school and I got to school and I had to get out of school early. I couldn't be there. You know, and
I was in school too.
and it hits you. You know, it hits you.
It did. Oh, God.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to add? Like, you know, say?
To be honest, it's a emotional topic because we can't actually think of
Yeah.
anything else to say, to be fair.
Indeed, yeah, indeed. So, you know what? We're gonna end this podcast right here. Okay.
Alright.
Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this tribute to Paul Bear. I'm Heel Steven.
I'm Knowledge at Wrestling.
I'm Gavin Ox.
I'm Hellcat.
And we'll catch y'all later. Thank you, Paul Bear, for the memories, for everything you've done. And we're out of here.
Peace.
Good night, everybody.